Recently, I found 2 species of scale growing on some citrus trees in my garden. They can suck sap from plant stems, leaves, and even the fruit. Severe infestations of these guys can weaken your plants, which will lead to less fruit production. Welcome to New Garden Road, where I share my love of gardening with you in a way that I hope will inform, inspire, and elevate you. Subscribe and get notified. More garden action coming at you. You can find scale commonly in the urban garden. They're going to get their name from the waxy coating that covers their bodies. They're categorized as either soft or armored, and they can range from 1/8 to 1/2 inch in size. They'll also vary in color, shape, and texture. There are around 8,000 described species of scale. Alright, so be aware, if you're growing citrus trees in your garden, they're like a big piece of candy for these guys, so anticipate them coming along at some point. Make sure you're inspecting your plants regularly. You're going to look for wilting or yellowing leaves. Make sure you get a good look underneath them. Soft scale in particular can produce a lot of honeydew. That's a sweet and sticky waste product that's produced from the excess sugars that they can't digest. This residue can build up on your plants. It'll make them look shiny or wet while attracting flies, bees, other insects. As this honeydew accumulates on organic matter, leaves, and things like that, it can start to produce a sooty mold fungus, which, as the name implies, looks like a black sooty mold. One of my biggest questions has been, where do scale come from and how do they get on my plants? I don't think the answer is necessarily something you can know for sure. However, if you look at the opportunity from other animals and birds to help these insects migrate, I think you got a lot of potential there, as well as environmental conditions. You get really stormy action, lots of wind. I mean, some insects, I don't know if it's scale, they can make like a little webbed parachute and just kind of paratroop onto your plants. Only the male scale insects are able to fly, and they do so to find females. The eggs are kept under the female's armor, which is basically an accumulation of old skin cells. From there, the nymphs or the crawlers will move on to find a nice place to eat. And once they do, they usually will embed themselves and they're going to lose their legs, their antenna, and they're going to stay put for the rest of their life. Alright, how to treat for scale. So if you've got a relatively small infestation of scale on your plants, physical removal is probably going to be most effective. Take a solution of soapy water and a rag and simply wipe the insects off. Alright, make sure you get everything underneath the scale, that you could have some nymphs or some crawlers under there. You don't want to leave those on your plants. It may be helpful. You could put to use one of your old toothbrushes or something like that, but gently remove the insects entirely. If you feel like you need a more comprehensive solution, you can use a horticultural oil. However, that's probably going to be most effective on the nymphs, so you would have to hit them at that point of the life cycle which they were active. Either way, that's something that you could try. A horticultural oil such as neem, that could be effective to killing the crawlers on contact. It's probably not going to penetrate the waxy coating of the adults though, so like I said, best to physically remove them. And if you find that you do have a good buildup of sooty mold fungus on your plants, that can be removed with a damp cloth. No fungicide needed, just treat for the insects and clean up their mess. Check out some of my other awesome gardening videos, learn to grow your own food, and keep it organic. Soft scale in particular can produce a lot of honeydew. That's a sweet and sticky residue. All right, yeah.